Peanut butter, bread, and jelly. The ultimate combination of a school lunch. Easy to put together and easy to scarf down. Nothing beats this insane combination of flavors. But how does it work so well? For something that is so easy to put together, it's insane that this tastes so good. Well, don't worry everyone, because I'm on a mission to figure out its secrets. Hello Internet! Welcome to Funny Food Thing, where imitation is the best form of flattery. Now, I don't know about you all, but I grew up eating this sandwich. This was a staple in my diet for all the years to come. I ate these sandwiches like 3 times a day, and I loved it. Which, now that I think about it, probably wasn't very good for my health, but that's another theory for another time. As I continued to get older, I started to expand my mind, and I really started to wonder, why does it taste so good? How does it taste so good? For something that you can make in like less than 2 minutes, it's kind of impressive at how well it comes together. So I'm here to answer this oh so important question that everyone has thought about. Why does it work? And before you start angrily typing in the comments, it's because salty and sweet are complementary flavors. Yeah, but why though? Out of all the other food combinations out there that are both complementary and easy to make, why does the PB&J stand supreme to it all? Well, pull out your superhero lunchboxes because I'm about to whip out a hot steaming theory on a plate. That sounded better in my head. So in order for us to understand why this food is better than others, I think it's important to break down exactly what is happening that makes this combination work. As everyone knows, the PB&J is a sandwich that consists of 2 pieces of bread and the filling. This filling is a 2-ingredient mixture of rich, fatty, and slightly salty peanut butter and sweet and fruity jelly. The concept of combining sweet and salty things is really nothing new. We've done it since the beginning of time with coffee and donuts, pineapple on pizza, and bacon and chocolate. Wait, who does that? Despite the world being wrong with its food choices, clearly there are people who enjoy this, and the reason for that isn't all that surprising. We as humans crave experiences. I'm sure you all know of someone who wanted to try the hottest pepper even though it will literally kill you.
I feel lightheaded. I feel high.
But if it's just about trying absurd food combinations, these foods would be way less popular, unless you know of someone who casually eats ghost peppers as a snack. Let's get into the science. The way our body responds to sweetness is very unique compared to any other food. Sugar is energy and we need it to replenish ourselves, so we naturally crave it. But if our bodies are full of sugar, why do we freak out when we bite into some cheesecake or some ice cream? Well, this actually goes back to the dawn of time. You know, when dinosaurs were not chicken nugget form. Back when we were cavemen and cavewomen, sugary foods were way harder to come by, so our bodies were never used to eating it. Usually when fruits are perfectly ripe, they have the highest amount of sugar. So you can only imagine the sugar high we must have felt when we first took a bite. This of course taught us to value higher tasting foods, and we sought after them even more. And this would be our first taste of that sweet, sweet dopamine. Ah yes, my brain's worst nightmare. When eating anything sweet, it triggers a part of our brain to feel good. Since sugars is a form of energy, our brain tells us to go look for more of it, and long story short, I do think it tastes good and it feel good. Let's do it again. But as we all know, too much of a good thing tends to be a bad thing, and our bodies have made sure to protect us from that. Have you ever wondered why the first bite of any food just blows you away, but then the more you eat it, the more tame it gets? Well, that's because of our brain's receptors and how it responds to our food. When food hits your tongue, your taste buds alert your brain that you're getting flavors. You don't necessarily taste it right in this moment, but your brain starts to freak out. Even though you had this food already, like maybe you had it last week or maybe you just had it yesterday. That's long enough for your brain to activate and get surprised by it when you eat it the next day. And the same thing can work in reverse. If all you ever eat are candies and sweets, we eventually get tired of it. Our brain receptors quickly get used to it. But there is a way around this. And that's when we add other flavors to enhance and prolong the taste. And this is where our oh so beautiful love story begins. When you bite into a PB&J, you get an overall taste of sweet jelly with a subtle salty and nutty flavor from the peanut butter. And depending on how much you use, it may be more or less of that. But take that second bite and you might notice that you taste more of the other ingredients. The first time was mostly jelly, but the second time, the peanut butter started to stand out. Bite it one more time and it may go back to jelly, or you have a perfect balance between these two flavors. And no, we aren't confusing our brain with this, we actually are just giving it more dopamine to focus on. Before you get a chance to figure out what you're tasting, you're getting a whole new sensation, which in return is making every bite feel brand new. It's a constant back and forth of rich jelly and then the salty proteins of the peanut butter, and then you get a little bit of both and the back of the jelly, peanut butter, jelly, and so on. But if it's as easy as giving our brain an extra toy to play with, how come other combinations don't seem to work? Why does the PB&J outrank every other food combination? Like for example, our most controversial one, pineapple on pizza. On paper, it's the same thing. You have the slight saltiness of the pizza amplified by the sweetness of the pineapple. But there's way more at play here. Not only are we playing with more ingredients, we're also playing with more flavors and more textures. When you think about it, peanut butter and jelly, even though opposites, both share a lot of similarities. They are simple flavors. They have similar textures. Not only that, but both flavors play a huge part in your body, with jelly giving you a bunch of essential sugars, and the peanut butter giving you a lot of that protein. You can even spread them both on your bread, whereas pineapple and pizza are both very different in a lot of ways. But Akira, it's a topping they aren't supposed to mix together, and you are right. But pineapple is not just overly sweet, it's juicy and also acidic. It's also at the top of the food, so it's the first thing you taste when you take a bite. And while tasting good, for the most part, that juiciness can also make the pizza be more soggy, if not already by the amount of grease and oil. So you're not necessarily getting a perfect balance between the two, you're actually just getting pizza-flavored pineapple. Pizza in itself isn't really all that salty when you think about it, and already has that added sweetness with the sauce, so adding more will just only throw off the balance. Of course, there's still a lot of people who like it, and we're not gonna judge you out loud. So if pineapple on pizza couldn't take down the PB&J from its throne, what else is there? Let's compare a more simple one, coffee and donuts. Donuts are fantastic, one of the best sweet treats out there. And there's nothing better than washing down all that sweetness with some bitter coffee to even things out. Using a liquid like this actually cleans your palate, so the next bite of our donut will be just as good as the first. But coffee itself can be very overwhelming with its bitter taste and not create that perfect balance that we're searching for. Bitter and sweet can also be opposites in nature and go really well together. Our body doesn't tend to like bitter stuff as much as we do sweet things and salty things. While the whole front of our tongue has sweet receptors, our specific receptors for bitter things are in the back of our tongue, and it's surprisingly much more sensitive. This causes our brain to go crazy with these flavors, and when you're dealing with something like coffee, well, I guess the last thing you want is that much black sludge in your mouth. So that's another point for the PB&J, the best combination ever. And there you have it. I successfully answered this question, and we don't have any more questions. We did it. But wait, what does this mean? Have we truly cracked the code? Can nothing beat it? Did we figure out everything there is to know about this legendary sandwich? Almost. If we are to truly understand it all, we must become the sandwich. Nailed it. But hey, that's just a theory. I don't even know anymore.